This is my new hair. I went all the way to the cities to get my hair cut this way by a woman named Louise. And I sat in her seat and I said, Louise, I want you to make me look gay. I think Louise was a little homophobic. but I mean, like a true ally would have said, leave your hair the way it is. There's no right way to be gay. But this is what I ended up with. My dad recently told me that he doesn't wear underwear, like ever. Kind of just dropped me in the middle of a Tommy Bahamas with that one. And it was kind of like, you know when you come out as a lesbian and people are like going back through their memories of you and they're like, oh, Lynn, that's why you were always chasing girls in the playground and wearing basketball shorts and writing in your diary, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. When my dad told me that he doesn't wear underwear, I had to go back and think of all these moments. Like, when I was 6 years old and my dad would read me Goodnight Moon before I went to bed, I had no idea how close he was to mooning me. Or like when I was 10, my dad taught me how to make lasagna. I knew that there were 3 layers of cheese between each layer of pasta, but I didn't know that there was only 1 layer of clothing separating my dad's penis from the entire world. It's like my life has become this complicated math equation where I have to go back and edit my memories with n-1 layer of clothing, where n is the reasonable amount of clothing that one would assume their dad would wear. My dad took his bare ass cheeks and rubbed them all over my memories, and no matter how much Eucerin cream I use, I can't solve that chafing. You guys ever seen the movie Brokeback Mountain? You know what song, here's my pitch. You know what song should have been in that movie but wasn't? The winner of iHeartRadio's Best New Country Song Award in 2009, Big and Rich's Save a Horse. For those of you who haven't seen the movie, Brokeback Mountain is a movie where Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal have to ride on each other's backs across the desert to save a horse that they both really care about. You should see it. You know when you would come into your elementary school classroom and it was going to be like an out-of-the-box learning day because your teacher had just gotten in trouble for showing Schoolhouse Rock 3 days in a row? Like you would walk in and she'd be holding like a bag of M&Ms in one hand and like a deck of cards in the other, and you'd be like, what's this bitch up to? You'd have to do something about like fractions and also not eat the M&Ms. One day in my 5th grade history class, I walk in, Miss Conway standing at the front of the room, bag of M&Ms, deck of cards. And she says that we're going to learn about the Third Amendment. You guys probably don't know what the Third Amendment is. It's a pretty boring one. It's the quartering amendment, which is like you can't put a soldier in someone's house without asking. So we were going to do a simulation. So to do that, Miss Conway paired us up in groups of 2, and we had to share a desk for 1 hour. Pretty similar situations, right? And you know, Miss Conway thought she had it all worked out. She had the girls pair with girls and the boys pair with boys so that there wouldn't be any hanky-panky. Here's what Miss Conway didn't consider. I was gay. And she paired me with the hottest 13-year-old at Desert Canyon Elementary. And after an hour of my thigh rubbing up against Gabriella Orozco's, the scent of her like L'Oreal conditioner in my fingertips, I didn't really know anything about the Third Amendment, but I got this really weird quartering fantasy. And like you can still catch me on Pornhub like Revolutionary War hot female stuff. And yeah, in my fantasy, the soldier is a woman, and that's feminism. One time I was having sex with a man, I know, and my finger was in his butt, and we were fooling around, and at one point he said, "Is your finger still in my butt?" And I had to wiggle around and check because I was too busy thinking about naked ladies. But actually, let's back up for a second. Has anyone else in here ever put their finger in a straight man's asshole consensually? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. They really don't like how much they like that. And I think the thing is, like, if you like your asshole being touched, that means you're gay, right? But the thing is, if my finger feels good in there, imagine what a dick would feel like. I mean, I doubt that any, like, gay person has ever had to say, hey man, is your dick still in my ass? And then the other guy's like, yeah, it's still in there. Yeah, so I have sex with men, I also have sex with women, which means that the gynecologist's office, I get a lot of high fives. I got a new gynecologist right when I started studying women's and gender studies, and I was so excited to see her and like break down the gendered medical industrial complex with her when she asked me about my sex life, as she would inevitably. And actually, let me do a quick, I'll show you what went down. You know I brought this out here for a reason. It's not cold. So I'm sitting like this. I wanted to wear my dress. Her head's between my legs. I'm a little turned on. And she goes, Lynn, when's the first time that you became sexually active? And I said, I've been waiting for this one. I pull out the Judith Butler, and I said, do you mean penetrative sex or sex in general? And Dr. Allison looks taken aback, and I don't think it's because of my poppin' pussy. And I mean, that's weird, right? Because she must get asked about sex a lot. She's so hot. And also a gynecologist. But she pauses, it's weird, and then she says, general, I guess. I tell her, we talk. I feel like I'm changing the world, one liberal conversation at a time. And then after a while in the examination, she says to me, the simulation's over. She says to me, Lynn, when's the first time that you had vaginal sex? And the way she emphasizes vaginal makes me realize that when I said penetrative, she thought that I meant anal. And that I was so happy about all the young anal sex I was on that I brought it the fuck up at our routine vagina appointment. One time I was walking through an alley with my mom, like you do, and this creeping man started walking towards us, like he was anticipating some sort of like mother-daughter threesome, and you know, he's getting closer, we're getting kind of antsy. He comes close, he says, hey ladies, what you do? He stops, pivots, walks away. And you know, for a minute, I was a little offended. I was like, do you think you're gonna find a more dynamic duo to harass than me and Maura Kelly? I don't think so. And to kind of ease the tension, I was gonna make a joke to my mom, like, you probably saw how old you were. Before I can open my mouth, she says, he probably saw how hairy your legs were. I'm a hairy lady. I'm a very sweaty lady. I've always been the kind of person who, once you shake my hand, you're probably gonna have to. And I'll see you do it. But I'm a lot less self-conscious about my sweaty hands than I used to be. In middle school, I actually got sent to the principal's office for abusing my bathroom privileges, which just meant that I was going to the bathroom 5 times a day to wash my hands. No, don't So when that happened, right, I had to think of a new strategy, because I don't know if you guys remember, but 2010 was a big year for high fives. Coincidentally, also a terrible year for people who have sweaty hands. And so here's the strategy that I was working with at the time. When people would go in for the high five, I'd go for it. And then I'd wait for their faces to crumple in disgust at how sopping wet their hand was. And then I'd say, oh, I just washed my hands. I don't use paper towels. They're bad for the environment. And you know, it wasn't a bad move on my part. Like, it worked pretty well. Until a local sustainability chapter of like an environmental justice organization caught wind that there was a 12-year-old trying to end waste. And I got roped into like a grassroots activism movement that ended in 11 hand dryers being installed in my school, no more paper towels, which was great for the planet and bad for me because I no longer had an excuse, and I couldn't even be upset about it because I was like, this is all part of my 12-year-old plan to end waste in schools in 2020. But lucky for me, 2011 was a big year for the fist bump. One time I saw a bumper sticker on a car that said, "God bless all soldiers, especially the snipers." Hey, I don't think it works that way. Like God's up in heaven, like blessing for you, blessing for you. Oh, you do radio? Little blessing for you. Data analysis, nothing. Oh my God. Do we have a sniper on our hands? Gabriel, get over here. You gotta see this. And a special blessing for you and your uncanny ability to shoot far distances. I mean, basically what this bumper sticker is saying to me is like, bless the snipers, fuck all the other guys, am I right? I'm like, what's the relation between this guy who's driving this car and like snipers in general? Like, is it just a sniper who's hoping to get a little extra from the man upstairs? I mean, is there anything even special about snipers that makes them worth saving? That's our show. I just want to say God bless all snipers.